Lily, a young woman with Down syndrome, entered Zara excitedly to pick out a dress for a special occasion. As she chose a red dress, the last one in stock, two snobbish and wealthy girls exchanged looks and whispered, "This isn't a costume parade. She's going to look horrible in that dress. How sad." One of them commented loudly enough for Lily to hear, reflecting a cruel lack of sensitivity. But what they didn't expect was that in just a few minutes, one of the most humble and loving actors in Hollywood was about to enter and say something to them that they would never forget. The impact of his words would be significant, and what would happen next would change everyone's perspective in the store. Before we continue this story, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy stories like this, subscribe to the channel, because tomorrow we have another special story for you. Lily walked quickly down the busy sidewalk of the city centre, weaving through the hurried passers-by. The afternoon sun reflected off the store windows, casting golden streaks of light along her path. She wore a striped blue and white blouse paired with a red overall dress, a simple yet vibrant combination that mirrored her personality. In the back of her mind, she had only one goal: to find the perfect red dress. Tonight was the gala ball at the Institute of Arts, an event that gathered students, professors, and even some well-known figures from the local art scene. It was a special occasion, and Lily wanted to look stunning. She had always loved fashion, but she never had the chance to shine at such a grand event. Now, after receiving an unexpected invitation following the presentation of her painting at a student exhibition, she had the opportunity to feel like she truly belonged in the world she admired so much. As she arrived in front of Zara, she took a deep breath before stepping inside. The soft scent of perfume mixed with the crisp freshness of new fabric filled the air. The store buzzed with muffled conversations and the gentle rustling of clothes on racks. She quickly scanned the shelves, absorbing every detail: the colors, the fabrics, the textures. And then there it was, at the center of the main display, as if waiting just for her, hung a stunning red dress on a golden hanger. The fabric looked silky to the touch, with a perfect cut that would accentuate her curves just right. It was the last one available. Her heart skipped a beat. She couldn't miss this chance. She quickly reached out to grab it, checking the size. It was as if fate was on her side. The dress was just her fit. But just as she held it in her hands, two girls walked past her, exchanging quick glances before whispering to each other. "Does she seriously think she can pull off that dress?" said the first girl, her platinum blonde hair sleek and glossy, her lips painted dark red. "Poor thing, she doesn't even have the style for it," replied the second, a brunette in a black leather jacket. Lily felt a chill run down her spine, but she pretended not to hear. She clutched the dress tighter and lifted her chin. She wouldn't let mean comments ruin her moment. Determined, she headed toward the fitting room. But as she stepped inside the changing area, she could still feel the girls' eyes on her. They didn't seem ready to give up so easily. Lily has found the perfect red dress, but she quickly realizes she's not the only one interested in it. Two girls pass by, making snide remarks about her, hinting that trouble might be brewing. Lily stepped into the fitting room and pulled the curtain shut, her heart pounding. She knew those girls, Jessica and Lauren. They went to the same college, but they came from a completely different world. Jessica was the daughter of a powerful businessman, always surrounded by people, always wearing designer clothes, always flashing that fake smile that masked her cruel intentions. Lauren was her shadow, following her every move, laughing at every mean comment, helping to spread rumors. Lily had heard the whispers before, in the hallways, in study groups, in the bathrooms. She knew they talked about her behind her back. They talked about the way she walked, the way she dressed, the way she looked, as if she didn't belong, as if she would never be good enough. She looked at the red dress hanging on the hook and ran her fingers over the fabric. She closed her eyes for a second, reminding herself why she was here. The gala, the event that brought together students, professors, and important figures from the art world, and she had been invited. That was all that mattered. Lily took off her overalls and striped blouse and slipped into the red dress. The fabric was perfect. For the first time in a long time, she felt beautiful. But then the voices came. "Oh my God, does she really think a dress is going to fix that?" Jessica laughed from outside. "There's not a fabric in the world that can help her," Lauren replied. "But look at the effort. Cute." Lily felt her throat tighten, but she refused to let the tears fall. "You can hear us, right, Lily?" Jessica continued, ripping with fake innocence. "Oops, forgot these stalls aren't soundproof." Lauren snickered. "Don't worry, babe. It's not like she doesn't already know. We're just saying what everyone else is thinking." Lily closed her eyes for a second, took a deep breath, and yanked the curtain open. Jessica and Lauren were standing there, waiting for her, as if they had been expecting this moment all along. Jessica took a step forward, raising an eyebrow. "Wow, it's even worse than I imagined." Lauren chuckled under her breath. "Told you." Lily crossed her arms. "What do you want?" Jessica sighed and gestured toward the dress. "I just don't get why you keep trying. I mean, you're actually going?" Lily felt her stomach twist. "Yes, I was invited." Jessica tilted her head slightly. "Oh, of course. But have you thought about what's going to happen when you walk in?" Lauren smirked. "People will stare. They'll whisper. Because no matter how hard you try to dress like them, Lily, you are not one of them." Jessica's smile widened, satisfied. "And then they'll just pretend you don't exist. Which honestly is better, because you know what happens to people like you when they try too hard, don't you?" Lily didn't answer. She felt a lump rising in her throat. Then Jessica reached for the dress tag and pulled at it, lifting it slightly like she was about to rip it off. "Come on, be honest. Do you really think this is for you?" Lily grabbed the fabric tightly. "Stop it." Lauren laughed. "No need to get upset. We're just looking out for you. We don't want you to embarrass yourself." Jessica leaned in, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Are you really walking out of the store with that dress? Because if you are, I hope you're ready for what comes next." And that was when a new voice cut through the tension. "Is there a problem here?" The three of them turned at the same time. Standing a few feet away, his expression serious, his gaze locked on them, was Keanu Reeves. Lily faces cruel and realistic insults from Jessica and Lauren, who do everything they can to humiliate her and convince her she doesn't belong at the gala. When one of them tries to rip the price tag off her dress, the situation escalates even further. But before it can go any further, an unexpected presence changes everything. For a few seconds, no one moved. Jessica and Lauren turned to face the man who had just spoken, their smug expressions faltering slightly. Keanu Reeves stood there, his posture relaxed but his eyes sharp, scanning the situation. He had his hands in the pockets of his simple yet elegant outfit, dark jeans, a black blazer, and a fitted grey t-shirt underneath. He looked effortlessly cool, like he had just walked off a movie set. Lily's heart was still racing, but now for an entirely different reason. Was this really happening? Keanu Reeves had just witnessed everything. Jessica was the first to recover. She tossed her hair over her shoulder and plastered on her best fake smile. "Oh wow, you're Keanu Reeves." Keanu didn't react. He simply nodded slightly, his gaze still locked on them. Lauren, sensing Jessica's hesitation, quickly tried to regain control of the situation. Yeah, we were just talking to our friend Lily here." Lily felt her stomach turn. "Friend?" Keanu's expression didn't change. "Is that right?" His voice was calm, but there was an edge to it, subtle but unmistakable. Jessica laughed nervously. "Yeah, just some friendly advice. She's planning to go to the gala tonight, and we're just letting her know what to expect." Keanu raised an eyebrow. And what exactly should she expect? Lauren hesitated. Well, Jessica quickly jumped in. It's just that these events have a certain standard, and we wouldn't want her to feel uncomfortable. Lily clenched her jaw. She knew exactly what Jessica meant. Keanu tilted his head slightly. Uncomfortable? Jessica nodded eagerly. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're being mean or anything. We're just being honest. Keanu let out a small breath as if processing their words. Then he turned his full attention to Lily. And how do you feel about what they're saying? Lily felt every muscle in her body tense. For years, she had dealt with people like Jessica and Lauren. She had learned to stay quiet, to avoid confrontation, to pretend their words didn't hurt. But now she had a choice. She swallowed hard and met Keanu's gaze. I think they're trying to make me feel like I don't belong. Keanu nodded as if he had expected that answer. Then he turned back to Jessica and Lauren. Let me ask you something. Do you two know what it's like to not belong? Jessica blinked, caught off guard. What? Keanu took a slow step forward, his eyes never leaving them. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like everyone had already decided who you were before you even spoke? Have you ever been judged, dismissed, ignored, not because of what you did, but just because of who you are? Jessica and Lauren exchanged a quick glance. I mean, not really. Keanu didn't let her finish, because that's what you're doing to her. And the worst part? You don't even realize it. Lauren crossed her arms. Look, we were just... Nu's voice remained calm, but there was something firm in his tone that made her stop. Just what? Being honest? Helping? Making sure she knew her place? Jessica opened her mouth, but for the first time she had nothing to say. Keanu sighed and shook his head. You think you're doing her a favor, but the truth is, you're just afraid of what happens when someone you don't expect to shine actually does. The silence that followed was heavy. Lily felt something shift inside her. The weight of years of whispers, of side glances, of cruel laughter, it was still there, but it didn't feel as suffocating anymore. Keanu looked at her again, his expression softening. The real question is, do you think you belong at that gala? Lily swallowed, and for the first time in a long time, she answered with certainty. Yes. Jessica let out a dry laugh, but it was weaker this time, uncertain. Well, good luck with that. She turned on her heel and walked away, Lauren quickly following behind. They didn't look back. Keanu watched them leave, then turned back to Lily with a small, knowing smile. You handled that pretty well. Lily let out a shaky breath and laughed nervously. I don't know what just happened. Keanu chuckled. You stood up for yourself. That's what happened. She looked down at the dress she was still wearing, the same dress she had doubted just minutes ago, but now it felt different. It felt right. Keanu gave her a nod. I think you're going to look great tonight. And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving Lily standing there, her heart still racing, but this time for all the right reasons. Keanu Reeves steps in and calls out Jessica and Lauren for their cruelty, making them question their own actions. But more importantly, Lily finds her voice, standing up for herself in a way she never has before. Now, with a new sense of confidence, she's ready for the gala. Lily was still standing in the same spot, her heart racing. Keanu Reeves had just defended her, but more than that, he had made her defend herself. She glanced across the store and saw Jessica and Lauren on the other side, still whispering to each other. They were furious. Jessica was flipping her hair aggressively, while Lauren shot Lily a cold glare from a distance. But for the first time, Lily wasn't afraid. She gripped the dress firmly and walked toward the checkout, ignoring the stares around her. It didn't matter what they thought. She was going to that gala. As she paid for the dress, a familiar voice spoke beside her. Hope you're not letting them ruin the moment. She turned to see Keanu, hands in his pockets, watching her with a small, knowing smile. No, she said, surprised by the steadiness in her own voice. Actually, I think I've never been this sure of anything in my life. Keanu nodded. Good, because the truth is, you don't need their permission to be anywhere. Lily took the bag with her dress and looked at him. Can I ask you something? Keanu gave a slight nod, encouraging her. Do you always step in like that when you see this kind of thing? He smiled, but there was something almost melancholic in his eyes. I used to be the guy people didn't think belonged. I know what it's like to hear that you shouldn't be there. Lily was silent for a moment. She had never imagined that Keanu Reeves could have felt that way. And how did you deal with it? He chuckled. I did what you just did. I kept going. Lily smiled, gripping the shopping bag a little tighter. Then I guess I'm on the right path. Keanu gave a small nod and was about to walk away when a sharp voice cut through the store. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Lily and Keanu turned at the same time. Jessica and Lauren were coming back, but this time Jessica was furious. Sorry, but I just can't let this go, she said, her eyes burning with anger. Lauren folded her arms, looking Lily up and down. She really thinks she can just show up at the gala and pretend she belongs. Lily felt her stomach twist, but something inside her refused to back down. I am going to the gala, she said, keeping her voice firm. Jessica let out a sharp laugh. You really don't get it, do you? It's not just about what you wear, Lily. It's about who you are. Keanu took a step forward, but Lily raised her hand slightly, as if to say, I've got this. And who am I, Jessica? She asked, crossing her arms. Jessica smirked, like she had been waiting for that question. You're that girl who walks the hallway alone, who never gets invited to the real parties, who people only talk to out of politeness. You're nobody. Lily felt her chest tighten, but she didn't look away. Then you're scared. Jessica blinked. What? You're scared, Lily repeated, feeling her confidence grow. Because if I'm nobody, then why do you care so much? Jessica opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Lauren shifted uncomfortably. Keanu smirked, crossing his arms. That's an excellent question. Jessica clenched her fists. You don't get it. This world isn't made for people like you. Lily took a step forward. And what exactly makes it yours? Your parents' money. The fact that you think you get to decide who belongs. Jessica hesitated for the first time. She had no answer. Lily took a deep breath and went for the final blow. The truth is, you were never able to ignore me. You've always seen me, and that pisses you off because I don't need your approval to exist. Jessica stood frozen for a moment, her eyes burning with frustration. You're going to regret this, she whispered. Then, without another word, she turned and stormed out of the store. Lauren hesitated for a moment before following her. The silence that followed was thick, as if everyone in the store was waiting to see what would happen next. Keanu looked at Lily with a proud smile. You just won that argument beautifully. Lily let out a shaky breath and laughed nervously. I can't believe that just happened. Keanu gave her a light pat on the shoulder. Well, you didn't just believe it, you made it happen. She looked down at the shopping bag in her hands. Now there's only one thing left to do. Keanu raised an eyebrow. What's that? Lily smiled. I need to get ready for the gala. Lily confronts Jessica and Lauren one last time, refusing to back down. With her own words, she turns the tables and makes Jessica realize that the real problem was never Lily. It was her fear of losing control over who gets to shine. Now, with newfound confidence, Lily is ready for the gala. Lily's car glided smoothly down the road as she stared out the window, feeling her heart race. The night of the gala had finally arrived. She had spent the entire day getting ready, but unlike what she had imagined, it wasn't just the dress that made her feel different. Something inside her had changed since that confrontation at the store. For the first time, she wasn't trying to fit in. She was simply being herself. The red dress fit perfectly. Her hair was styled in a simple yet elegant way. She hadn't gone overboard with makeup or tried to look like someone she wasn't. She wanted to walk into that ballroom as Lily. When the driver opened the door, she took a deep breath and stepped out. The entrance of the venue was illuminated by golden lights, with a red carpet stretching toward the grand doors. Elegantly dressed guests moved around her, laughing and chatting. For a moment, hesitation crept in, but then Keanu's words echoed in her mind. The truth is, you don't need their permission to be anywhere. And with that, she walked inside. The stares came instantly. Some people glanced at her before turning back to their conversations. Others gave her a more scrutinizing look, as if trying to figure out what she was doing there. She ignored them. She grabbed a glass of champagne from a passing waiter and continued walking. Then she heard a familiar whisper. She actually showed up. Lily turned and spotted Jessica and Lauren standing near the main table. Jessica held a glass of wine, but the way she gripped it made it obvious she wasn't happy. I give her an hour before she realizes she doesn't belong here, Lauren murmured. Jessica forced a smile and strode toward Lily. Wow, Lily, you really made it, she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. I have to say, that's pretty bold of you. Lily took a sip of her drink and looked Jessica straight in the eye. Oh, Jessica, you're still worried about me? I thought you'd be over it by now. Jessica blinked, clearly caught off guard by the confidence in Lily's voice, but she quickly recovered. Of course not. I'm just waiting to see how long it takes before people realize you don't belong here. Lily chuckled lightly. Funny, I was thinking the same thing about you. Jessica's eyes widened slightly, and for the first time that night, she looked like she had lost control. Lauren nudged her arm. Jess! But Jessica was already too irritated to stop. You think just because you bought a dress and walked in here, you're suddenly one of us? Her voice was sharp, filled with frustration. You can wrap yourself in all the fancy fabric you want, but at the end of the day, you're still just you. Lily took a deep breath and nodded. And you know what's funny? I like being me. Jessica opened her mouth to respond, but a voice suddenly echoed through the ballroom. Ladies and gentlemen. Everyone turned toward the stage, where one of the event hosts held a microphone. Tonight, we are here to celebrate emerging talent in the world of art. And among our guests, we have someone who truly deserves special recognition. A young artist who has impressed everyone with her unique vision and remarkable sensitivity. Lily frowned. The host smiled. Please give a warm welcome to Lily. For a split second, the ballroom went silent. Then applause erupted. Lily felt her stomach twist. Jessica stood completely still, her expression frozen in shock. A man approached Lily. Lily, this way, please. Still stunned, she followed him to the stage. When she arrived, the host grinned and handed her the microphone. Lily, would you like to say a few words? She looked out at the crowd, at the professors, the renowned artists, the elite guests, at Jessica and Lauren, who were too stunned to react. She took a deep breath. A few days ago, I wasn't sure if I belonged here, but tonight I realized that it's not about tea being accepted, it's about believing you deserve the space you take up. More applause. Some guests smiled, others nodded in approval, and Jessica disappeared into the restroom. As Lily stepped off the stage, she saw a familiar face waiting for her. Keanu Reeves. I told you belonged here, he said with a grin. Lily laughed. Yeah, I think I finally believe it now. Lily not only attends the gala but receives unexpected public recognition. Jessica watches as her plan to humiliate Lily crumbles before her eyes. Now, with newfound confidence, Lily realizes she never needed anyone's approval to feel worthy. The gala was in full swing, laughter and music filling the grand ballroom. The chandeliers above cast a golden glow over the guests, their elegant attire shimmering under the light. Lily stood near the balcony, taking a deep breath of the cool night air. The weight that had once pressed on her chest, the doubt, the fear, the need for approval, was gone. Tonight, she hadn't just attended the gala, she had owned it. People had come up to her, congratulated her, asked about her work. Professors had praised her dedication. Art critics had shown interest in her paintings. And most surprising of all, she hadn't felt like an outsider. She had felt like she belonged. A voice pulled her out of her thoughts. "You're surprisingly calm for someone who just stole the spotlight." Lily turned to see Keanu Reeves standing beside her, hands in his pockets and an amused smile on his face. She laughed. "I think I'm still processing it." Keanu leaned against the railing. "Well, for what it's worth, I think you handled it better than most." She gave him a curious look. "You seem to know a lot about moments like this." He shrugged. "Let's just say I've had my fair share of not belonging, and I've learned that the moment you stop asking for permission, the world starts making room for you." Lily let his words sink in. "I think I finally get what you mean." Keanu nodded, then glanced back at the crowd inside. "So what's next for you?" Lily thought for a moment. A few days ago she would have said she didn't know, but now she smiled. "Keep creating. Keep putting my work out there. Maybe even show my paintings in an actual gallery." Keanu raised an eyebrow. "You should. I have a feeling a lot of people would want to see them." Lily chuckled. "Including you." He grinned. "Absolutely." They stood in silence for a moment, the cool breeze brushing against them. Then Keanu glanced toward the ballroom and nodded. "You should get back in there. It's your night, after all." Lily exhaled, but this time it wasn't nerves. It was excitement. "Yeah, it is, isn't it?" She turned to head back inside, but before she stepped away, she looked at him one last time. "Thank you for everything." Keanu's smile was warm, genuine. "You did this on your own, Lily. I just made sure you saw it." Lily nodded, then stepped back into the ballroom, not as the girl trying to blend into the crowd, but as someone who knew exactly who she was. As she moved through the room, people turned to her with admiration, respect. The girl who once doubted herself had become the center of attention, not because of what she wore, but because of the confidence she carried. Jessica and Lauren were nowhere to be seen. Lily smiled to herself. She had won, and for the first time, she didn't feel like she had something to prove. She simply belonged. Months later, Lily stood in a bright gallery, staring at the wall where her own paintings were displayed. A small plaque with her name stood beneath them. She heard footsteps approach. "Told you people would want to see them." She turned to see Keanu standing there, a knowing smile on his face. Lily grinned. "Yeah, you did." They stood in silence for a moment, watching as visitors admired her art. She had come a long way, and she knew this was just the beginning. Lily had found her voice, and the world was finally listening. Lily's journey wasn't about fitting in. It was about realizing she never needed to. By standing up for herself and embracing who she was, she found success, confidence, and a place where she truly belonged. Because the moment you stop waiting for permission, you start making your own space in the world. If you enjoyed this story, we have many more that will warm your heart. Click the screen to explore more stories of hope, compassion, and resilience.